when it comes to football, there are so many greats. Yes, so many greats that you can think of. When it comes to African football players, again, there are so many greats, such as Jay Jay Okocha, which is probably why Alex Iwobi, you know what I mean, aka 17, is finding it a bit of a struggle to, you know, lace, Jacob Okocha's boots. However, he is his own man, and we have to respect that. But before we find, so this is why we're going to find out exactly why it's taken him. I don't even know how to put it. It's challenging Alex Iwobi, but also challenging Nigeria as a whole. Yeah, let's keep that all about a buck. The Super Eagles are struggling. All right, but let's find out why. We're going to react to Jay Jay Okocha's latest interview. All right, so we're going to get into that. By the way, my name is Versatile, aka the Alkebulan. Trust a name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. So we're going to react to Jay Jay Okocha's interview on the long form podcast. So shout them out. So yeah, let's get straight into it. And make sure you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, turn your post notifications because more content is coming. It's on the way. I told you I'm going to get back to being consistent. Let's go.
When you got your very first check and you saw the zeros, do you remember what you did with the first paycheck?
Of course, I had it saved.
You saved?
Of course. The nature of our job, we don't get pension.
That's deep.
Really?
You're basically your own government. You know, from the day you stop playing, that's it.
Let's assume it
and
was.
It's funny because there's a lot of players here outside of African ballers, past and present, especially the ones that are, let's say past. It's like there are a lot that have earned a substantial amount of money and lost it all. Like, do you know what I mean? I believe even what's his name? Emmanuel Bue. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those brothers that, do you know what I mean? But we'll get into that story another day. Yeah, so turn on your post notifications. So when you're notified and when I go live or react to that content, you will be notified. You can watch there and then. But let's keep it moving. But by the way, just as you, in case you didn't know yet, Jay Jay Okocha taught Ronaldinho, right? And Ronaldinho taught Messi. All right, let's keep it moving.
100,000 pounds. What was your investment strategy? How would you spend that money?
My contract money is for investment. There is match bonuses. It's enough for you to leave. You have endorsement. It's enough for you to buy toys, if you will.
So those nice cars and nice watches.
Exactly.
How did you navigate the responsibilities to the people back home? People who've been your friends, who've raised you?
They are part of your structure. They are part of your investment.
In what sense?
In the sense that they are part of your budget. You know, you put them in your plan.
Yeah.
And also you make it clear to them that they have a limited time. You're trying to set them up and they have to make it count. You make sure that 80% are okay. And if that 80% are okay, they take some of the burden away from you when you retire.
Wait. That's deep. I look forward to when he discusses that deeper. Because what? Huh? It's amazing how much, even till this day, like Victor Osimhen, I believe, is in a similar situation. Like a similar situation.
This is the very, very best. I introduce the very, very next. Big deal. You know this is the big league. Sanga mumi handa ya chigari make a big fish. Word on the street turakaze. Habari gani mumeze mte.
Hey.
Shimimana kuva honda muchiye. If you want the long form, come close and wait, what?
The long form.
What did he say?
The long form.
What?
The long form.
The long form. The long form.
All right, this intro is one of the illest intros for our podcast.
Hello.
I don't care.
My guest this week on the long form.
Wait. Before, listen, leave your answer in the comment section below. If you are someone that watches podcast, and you've heard intros, Name the top 5 intros for podcasts. Leave in the comment section below. This has to be in the top 5. Has to be. Let's go.
Needs no introduction. Augustine Jay Jay Okocha is not just one of Nigeria's most famed footballers. He's one of Africa's most gifted to ever play the game of football. But behind the stepovers lies a man who's had to navigate fame, money, pressure, and the challenge of life after football. In this conversation, we look back on his highs, his lows, the lessons learned on and off the pitch, and his vision for the future of African football.
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Hey, before we get started, almost 70% of you who watch this podcast haven't subscribed yet.
Don't worry,
If you've been enjoying these conversations and want us to bring even bigger guests and tell even better stories, that simple click really helps us grow this community. It's free for you, but it means everything for us. So hit that subscribe button, join the community, and let's get into today's episode. JJ, legend, welcome to the Long Form Podcast.
Thank you.
Do you do podcasts often?
Not really.
Why not?
Well, I try to stay away from media, because I think the more scarce you are, the better for your brand.
Yeah.
Well, once in a while I do.
See, look,
I'm very honored that
he comes from a different era, a very, very different era, because that's not as much as he is a footballer, or an ex-footballer, ex-professional footballer. I know of, for example, music artists that are similar. They rarely do interviews. So when they do something, you pay attention. You pay attention straight away. Plus, also, you got to bear in mind anything he does say, and if it relates to especially Nigeria, the Super Eagles, for example, if he says anything, it's going to go viral. The same way Mikel would say something, it goes viral. You know what I mean?
You've chosen to sit here with me, take your time. So we're having this interview on the sidelines of the Sports Biz Africa Forum that's currently taking place here in Kigali at the beautiful Kigali Convention Center. And yesterday you were a speaker. Now, you're a busy man.
Shout out to everyone for Rwanda, by the way.
You do media, you have businesses that you run. There's a lot of things that you could be doing with your time, but you are here. You flew into Kigali. You spent a couple of days here. Why have you chosen to take time out of your very busy schedule to attend this particular forum? Why was it so important for you?
Well, I think it's very important for me because it involves the game that made me, and it's always good to see football on the other side, not as a player anymore, but as a stakeholder, and also to understand the interest of the continent in developing the sport.
See, listen, let me pause that real quick, yeah? Do you know how vital that is? Because obviously he's seen as arguably one of, if not the greatest African footballer to grace the planet, right? The thing is, to have that mindset after playing, to know that, no, it's not just about Nigeria, it's about the continent. Let's support the continent. And that's what this channel, the Alkebulan Trust channel, is about. It's about supporting the continent of Africa, but also the continent of the Caribbean as well, just so you know. Yeah, that's what this is about. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notification because more content is coming. Let's keep it moving.
One of the reasons why I decided to come here to update myself as well and to see how far we are willing to go and where we stand. And I can tell you that it's been amazing. And the feedback that I'm getting is great, and it's wonderful to see that there's hope and that other parties that normally doesn't show interest in the growth of the game, is finally getting it right. You know,
The money side.
the money side, the politicians, you know, and of course, for me, the corporate is what I'm interested in, because
Do you know how mad that is when you deep it? Yeah, I don't think people understand the intricacies of what happens for football. So, as much as, for example, with Nigeria, I'll use Nigeria as a prime example, right? Like, as much as there's the blame of the Nigerian Football Federation, which is partly true, but it's the infrastructure as a whole. So, as soon as the infrastructure within every country within Africa is better the way it's supposed to be, I guarantee you, not one individual, whether they were born in Germany, born in England, born in America, born outside of the continent, I promise you, and I promise you did. Remember, I said this. The moment there is that real proper infrastructure, you're going to see a shift. You're going to see a change that most people are really want to play for their ancestral country. Simple as that. They want to play for the father's land or the motherland, but technically it's called fatherland if you understand the terminology. Do you know what I mean? So let's get straight back into it. Shout out to Jay Jay Okocha for mentioning that, because that's deep.
that's the future of the game.
Why now? I mean, African sports, African football, it's been a part and parcel of African life. Why do you think that in this particular moment, all of a sudden, it's moving away from just athletics and the act of playing the game, and now all of a sudden, all the other stakeholders are seeing the opportunity? What's happened? What's new?
Well, I don't know, but I think maybe they are now understanding the business side of the game. They now understand that there are more to the game than just 22 players playing
You see?
the
There's
game.
more to the game.
You know, and I mean, without any doubt, football is a big global business, and it's good that we are seeing it from that perspective, you know, and that we are willing now to get involved in developing the game, you know, from the business side of it. So it's a good news for us.
Yeah. Have you, again, as a former legend, not a former legend, literally a legend of the game, what beyond, speaking and advocating for the game and for the business side of the game, have you also put a few dollars behind the monetization of African sports, African football?
Well, to be honest, not yet, you know, because the platform does not allow us to.
So if you want to make a come from home and you're a beginner, meaning right now you have a 9-to-5 job or you're self-employed, you need to know this one concept.
Get involved, you know, in the
How's that possible?
Because there should be a structure in place. If you're coming in as an investor, you should get value for your money. You know,
That's true.
If the league is not interesting, you can't get value for your money. You know, if you
I hear what you're saying, yeah. I definitely hear what you're saying. But, and here's where I'm gonna say there's a but. Because I feel like that's the other thing. Because it almost feels like, well, there's a self-interest. If it doesn't interest you and benefit you financially, then why should I get myself involved and helping make that change that needs to be changed? Sometimes you have to be the one that literally the same. Like, look, the same way Jay Jay Okocha in his prime, in his peak, in his prime when he was playing, he would carry the ball forward and create magic out of nowhere. Create chances, score goals. Like that's what he should be using as a mentality to be able to drive the game forward within not just Nigeria, but in the African market, which I believe he's doing. But I feel like from what you just said just there, it almost feel like there's a bit of a if it's not benefiting me, then why? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. You can let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are, because that to me, yeah, because someone has to be the one to make to I hate to use the word sacrifice. Do you know what I mean? But like someone has to sacrifice their not. I don't want to say sacrifice themselves or their finances, but someone has to do it for the greater good, not really caring about the benefits or financially for themselves. They just have to see it as, do you know what I mean? They're helping the next generations going forward. Because once you help the next generations going forward, it's a different level. But anyway,
Don't get people to follow the league that you're investing in. How do you get your value?
Yeah.
You know?
in fact, because he mentioned about league, let's use the Nigerian Premier League Football League. Yeah, the Nigerian Premier Football League. Yeah, in Yembe FC, the team I support, the Nigerian team I support. Like, I may not follow as much as I want to follow, and I still will get to that level. Don't get it twisted. It's just timing and everything. But like, basically, the reason why I decided I need a Nigerian team to support. So I found out, cool, well, I'm Igbo, so let me support an Igbo team or a team from that region, or you know what I'm saying. So, so there was that. Then obviously for the women's team, I'm thinking, hang on, I need a women's team as well. Well, I'm also Edo as well, so Edo Queens FC. It only made sense. I mean, technically, it should have been. Anyway, I won't even get into that. That's a different day for a different story. But the reason why I mentioned about Enyimba FC, guess who is the chairman of Enyimba FC right now? Guess. Just guess. Leave your answer in the comments below and guess. And I'll give you a clue. He also used to play in the Premier League. He also used to help out Nigeria as well. Just so you know. All right? He's also another great. Like another great. So, and he's helping out the league. With like, I may not like in the NBFC drawing like every flipping game. I mean, that's an exaggeration. They'll get back to winning ways. But like, you get the point I'm trying to make. But the point is, with his name, his own fan base, it brings things into the mix to the point where, okay, well, from his experience as a chairman, sometimes it is what it is, man. I don't explain. Just keep moving on.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why some of us did not invest in football in Africa, because also we're limited to the funds that is available for us, and we have to make sure that we manage it very well.
Yeah. You've visited Rwanda a few times now. When you look around the country, you've gone north. You've not just stayed in Kigali. You've also had the opportunity to go north, go to the mountains, trek the gorillas. When you look around, when you talk to people, when you talk to politicians, when you observe the rhythm and flows of the country, what strikes you the most about Rwanda's development today?
I think what strikes me the most is the drive of the people, you know, and Rwanda can be used as an example of what one can achieve if you have a good leader and if you have citizens that are willing to follow that lead, you know. And it's amazing to see what Rwanda have achieved in a very short period. I mean, you're just 31 years old.
Pretty much.
And I think I'm always proud as an African whenever I come to Rwanda to see what we can achieve if we are willing to get it right.
Yeah. Is there anything you think the Rwandan model, because when you talk about the giant of Africa, it's obviously Nigeria. But is there a lesson that a small country in Central Africa, like Rwanda, that just has a population of about 14 million people, is there anything that it can teach?
I'm sorry, a population of 40 million people, that's small. Okay, as far as Africa is concerned, but that just goes to show you. Like, I think, and this is the other thing, there's a large misconception about the African continent where they say it's the second largest continent in the world. No, it's not. You know what I mean? No, it's not. I ain't visited every African country yet, but the fact that some people think that, and I'm thinking about the logic, yeah? I'm just thinking about the sheer logic. There's so many of us. We contribute to so much of the world. And even prior colonialism and then post colonialism, look how much we have contributed and continue to contribute. You understand? I'm just saying, I'm not saying other people from different continents haven't contributed in a positive way. I use the word positive. Then I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to the extent where there's so many similarities with other continents that have a link to African countries. Do you know what I mean? And that's even prior to colonialism. Just think about that for a moment. Name, culture, everything. Think about that for a moment. Not necessarily everything, but most things. But there's some things I'm like, that name seems similar. That culture looks similar.
The African giant.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you're ambitious and you have the drive, nothing is impossible. And for me, that's the lesson I take from here, because you dream big, and not just dreaming, you implement it. So I think that's what some of us are lacking in Africa. We talk a lot, but we don't implement, what we talk about. So it's good to see a small nation.
I hear what you're saying, but I hear what you're saying, but I think it's more the case of some people try to implement, and especially when it comes to something that is positive that also helps other people. Unfortunately, there's a situation. Look what they're trying to do to, President Ibrahim Traore. That's just a prime example. Look what they're trying to do on so many strange, odd occasions. Look what they're trying to do. That's just a prime example, okay? So when you put that into perspective, imagine other people trying to do stuff. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, and you can let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, let's go.
Setting the pace, and leading by example. So I mean, there are a lot for us to admire from Rwanda.
Yeah.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words.
I like to, when we were getting ready to have the sit down off mic, we were talking about the very first time I got to know the name Jay Jay Okocha. Let's go back to the early 90s, to Frankfurt. You arrive in Germany, you're young, you're Nigerian, full of flair. You play with what the Europeans must have found, some with African magic. Now, when you come into a new space with a new, not maybe necessarily a new, but a different type of football, sometimes there's a moment where you can be lost in the translation. How long did it take for people to start taking the way you do football seriously?
Well, I think I had an immediate impact, even though my mistake then could see as me taking or joking, with the ball, because they are not used to my style of play. But I understood earlier on that I needed an identity, and of course, me being out there, I'm not just representing myself or my country, but the continent, and if I'm like,
The fact that he mentioned he's not just representing himself, he's representing his country and continent. That explains everything. That explains everything I need to know now. It explains everything. Because when you go with that mentality that I'm representing myself, but everyone else, you got to do the best you can. But I'm like, hang on. You see, sometimes I need to understand the transfers from back then. Because don't they normally buy players based on what they know, what attributes and skills that they can add to the team? So I don't know. And remember, he's going to a different league and a different country. But anyway,
one of them was the need. They won't sign me. So I needed to bring something different, but in a positive way to the league. And I think what they admired was not just the flair, but the hard work that I was putting in, my willingness to learn, to improve and all that. But I think the crucial thing for me was to keep my identity, because I wanted to be different. I wanted to represent the continent, and to show that we've got something good going for us if we were given the chance.
How hard was it for you to translate your style into Germany? When you think about German football, the words robotic come into mind.
nah, for real.
Right? It's
Maybe this robotic machines. You see that era between what was it? Was it 2006 to at least 2012? That era. I know there was another era before that. Don't get that twisted with the West Germanys and even after that, and then after that, like the mid-90s. But the era I grew up in, basically, and like it's 2006 to 2012 Germany. Hey, what are we talking about? It's mad. They were machines.
it's pass, one touch, keep it moving, power, tactical discipline. To be honest, not a very great TV product. Now, all of a sudden, you come in. I remember watching you, and as a young African boy, I immediately identified with that kind of football. It was, oh, this is a number 11. They're going to do this. Their job is to get us off our seats.
Mm-hmm.
But how hard was it for the league the team, the coaches, to kind of figure out, okay, JJ is coming with this style, but now how do we fit him into how we do business?
Well, I think it wasn't too hard. It's all about understanding what is required of you first in certain area of the pitch, and directing you, teaching you also the basics.
Yeah, Alex Iwobi, are you listening to your uncle? No, I'm playing. No, I'm playing because obviously for Fulham, yeah, do you know what I mean? He's doing well. Like, for some reason, Marco Silva knows how to bring out the best from Alex Iwobi. But when it comes to the national side, I don't understand how Alex Iwobi just is like. You ever watched Space Jam, the first one? I ain't seen the second one, yeah, but like the first one, you know what I mean? That's what it looks like when he plays for the Nigerian national side. He's so inconsistent, but hopefully, you know what I mean, he can get consistent and end up becoming, maybe greater than his uncle. Who knows? You know what I mean? I always have that hope. Get me? Let's keep moving.
And for you also
Let me know what
to
your
be
thoughts are
willing to
in the
learn,
comments below.
to adapt to the system and play the way they want you to play. But then in certain areas, they can't teach you what to do because of your natural ability.
True.
And that's when my flair comes in, and once I use it to win matches or create chances for the team,
They say continue.
they encourage me to do
naturally.
it. But in certain area
Yeah.
on the pitch.
One of the hardest things is to as a young African, okay, now I'm thinking early 90s, there wasn't a lot of African players the way that they are now in Germany. You were barely a teenager. You know, I'm pretty sure you did not understand German. How hard was it for you at a personal level, right? So the football, you could let, you know, the international language of kick, pass, move.
Exactly.
That's easy. It's now when you're coming into a space, you're trying to read the signs on the road. I remember visiting Vienna a few years ago, and I did not realize that I could not read the signs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go there and you're thinking, at least I'll be able to use Google Translate.
Yeah.
But now if the A is not actually an A, and the B is not a B, and the Z is not, and that is with Google Translate.
I listen. This is what's so impressive and funny about certain cultures and languages. It's like you can go to another country, you could think that, hang on, you know what I mean? This isn't, no, what you said was funny. I can't even lie. But like, listen, it's great that we live in a day and age where we can use our phone. Yeah, if you've got a certain type of phone, actual genuine smartphone, it can be smart. You just click it, and it translates for you. You know what I mean? Other than that, you're gonna be struggling. You're gonna have to have a translator with you. Like, you know what I mean?
You know, it must have been so difficult. The food, the weather, you're probably homesick. The culture, language, dare I say racism. How did you handle all that?
Good question.
What was, how do you do that? That's very curious.
Well, I would be lying if I said that it wasn't difficult. You know, my challenges were off the pitch, not on the pitch. You know,
the all-new iPhone 17 Pro has arrived. The most pro iPhone ever.
but I think my desire to survive, my desire to eradicate poverty in my family, in my community, you know, was greater than
The discomfort.
any challenge that I was facing, you know, because I came in the era of you going through, or you have to go through difficult times to make it. You know, nothing was given. You have to earn the right to better your life. And that was the reason why I left Nigeria. Not because I was comfortable and I was scouted, or I went through academy or whatever. I went to Germany, even though it was on holiday, but at the back of my mind, I went to try and see if I can get an opportunity to change my life.
Wait. So this is a story that I don't know. So
And yeah, this is a story that I didn't know. And it's interesting how so many people in the 90s, especially in African countries as well, that have done something similar. They've had to basically do whatever they can to better not only their life, but to better, you know, their family's life, their friends' life. That it's amazing when you think about the tenacity that a lot of people have to be able to do anything to be successful. But the reason why I paused it, by the way, was because I said, let me just research, let me just do a quick Googles. You know what I'm saying? Quick Googles. I was wondering, wait, does Alex Iwobi play in a similar position to his uncle? And the answer is yes. He plays in a similar position. Both are creative attacking midfielders who can also play on the wing. Therefore, Alex Iwobi has no other option but to study his uncle. He's got the DNA already. He just needs to bring it out of him when he plays for the national side consistently. That's all he needs to do. Like, or does his uncle need to be the manager or something? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below, because obviously sometimes your family that's a success, that's obviously older than you, whatever, it can also be a burden. But it's not. But for him, Alex Iwobi, it doesn't even seem like a burden. From the way, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the problem is. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
I had thought that, you had gone, they had scouted you and called you there. It sounds like you are pretty much an illegal migrant.
I wasn't illegal. I went there legally, but on a visiting visa.
Great thing to say.
And then
hey,
I went on trial.
Because right now,
so where did you go?
It was a third division club.
Yes.
What happened? The story is my senior brother was playing for the national team.
Yes. What was his name?
Raphael Onochie.
Yes.
So when he was playing for under 20, he had this friend that used to play for this third division club. So my brother got invited for trials, but he couldn't go.
Yes.
So I got a visiting visa and went to that club with the opportunity that was given to him. So I went and met the coach and told him that I'm junior brother from the player that they are expecting, but he can't come.
So they expected an Okocha and they got one.
Yes, but not me. But yeah, I mean, that was how my journey started. But
and that's what year was that?
1990.
1990.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it was. Do
you know how many years ago that was? From today of watching this, it's like what? Do the maths. That's for. Let me not do the math, but if you know, you know.
Tough period. Maybe the most difficult time of my life, But like I said, when you have vision, when you have target, when you have a dream, I think if you're strong mentally, nothing that is thrown at you can stop you from at least trying to achieve that dream.
He's right. That's good wisdom there. That's genuine good wisdom. Genuine good wisdom.
What was that dream? Because sometimes people overdream.
Yeah.
Some people underdream.
Yeah.
When you now look back, you've gone through, you're now where you are. You played for Bolton, you played for PSG, you played for Eintracht Frankfurt, you played for the Super Eagles. You've become a legend of African football. When you were a teenager in 1990, when you were thinking, okay, I have to make it. I want to live my dream. I want to, create generational wealth. Did you actually think that this would be where you ended up?
Not at all.
What was your dream?
I think back then, because we were not that exposed, we had love for football. And my dream was just to be known. I didn't even see football as a career. I just wanted to play and be.
That's interesting. That's genuinely interesting. Because I'm thinking, how do you not see football as a career in 1990? And I'm gonna see something real quick. Let me see something. And I'm about to do more. I'll probably do a video on that at one point. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, so Nigeria won the first African Cup of Nations in 1980. So it does beg the question, as a team, what are you seeing, or what are your parents telling you about the career traces that you're supposed to go down towards? That's what's interesting to me. But you've done well so far. Let's go.
Popular, because people that I used to see that were popular never played out of the country, and they were not rich, but they were popular.
Yes.
And all I had for the game was love, because that was my comfort zone. Coming back from school, going out there on the street playing with your friends until it gets dark, no responsibility and all that. So it was like the only toy that we had, So I was just thinking of maybe taking it a notch further, playing abroad, maybe make my way to the national team and become known, Not until I got to Germany, not until I signed my first professional contract that I realized, oh, okay.
Do you remember how much your first professional contract was worth?
Well, yes, but my first contract was an amateur contract, which was not even enough for me to survive. So I had to work and play.
And that's still in Germany?
In Germany, yeah.
So you play, the rest of the days of the week you are working. Where are you working?
Yeah, you work in the morning from 9 to 2, and then you go to
Where are you
training
working?
at 5. Well, that I can reveal later. Yeah. But
it's so interesting when you think about it, because you'd think with certain players of a certain era, you don't know their full journey until they actually mention their full journey. And when you deep how much, like, when you deep it, all he wanted to do was obviously just be known. That's all he wanted to do. It's just as basic as that. Not even knowing that you could be a professional footballer. Listen. It's astonishing when you see other people's journeys and what they've accomplished. But let's keep it moving. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications. Yes, more content will be on the way. You know what I mean? So do whatever you can. Just hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications. So more content. When I do upload content or post content, you'll be able to watch there and then. And also make sure you leave a comment in the comments below. Hit the subscribe. And leave a comment in the live chat, and I'll try and give you a shout out as well. Let's go.
I mean, that was how I started, because we only trained 4 times a week, and I had enough time, to do other things.
So
imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
You 3rd division 1990, and then
that's why I was a 3rd division.
I might be mistaken to say, but the first major contract was at Eintracht. Would that be correct? Is it? You don't have to share what the dollar figure was, or I think that time it was still the Deutschmarks.
Yeah.
But when you got your very first check, and you saw the zeros.
The zeros wasn't much.
Yeah.
I can reveal it. It's nothing. It's not a secret.
Yes.
We are talking about. I think it was in 1991, December. And the offer was 5,000 Deutschmark.
What would that be in
Deutschmark
dollars now?
Let's say $5,000. But the thing is that life was a lot.
Wait. Let's do the math. 5,000 Deutschmark. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Let's put German money. Name before euro. Okay, the Deutschmark. Okay, the Deutschmark. All right. We're gonna figure this out. So you said 5,000 Deutschmark. So how much was 5,000 Deutsch mark in GBP back in 1991. Okay, so 5,000 Deutschmarks were equivalent to approximately £2,225 and 4 pence. All right. Look, we don't need to know about the economy in the UK, but they were experiencing a recession. I'm going to translate that to naira. So how much was that in naira in 1991? Those are the main currencies we're going to focus on for now. All right, so that is 49,550 naira. The naira exchange rate in 1991, the official exchange rate in 1991 was approximately £9. No, £9. 9.91 naira per US dollar. However, sources indicate a black market rate. Anyway, we'll get to that. Anyway, listen. Factors influencing the naira's value included dependence on commodity exports, primarily on crude oil, and management of foreign exchange rates. You see, so we're going to get into these type of things later on. So if you're interested in finance, especially when it comes to economy and stuff like that, when it comes to the African and Caribbean continent and countries and stuff like that, I strongly recommend you hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, so when I do post content about that or go live in regards to these type of subjects, you'll be able to watch there and then. But let's keep it moving. Shout out to Jay Jay Okocha. Shout out to the host of the long form podcast. Forgot his name, not gonna lie, but we'll keep it moving. Let's go.
And
shout out to you watching.
For an 18-year-old,
if I find out how much it is now.
Do you remember what you did with the first paycheck?
Of course, I had it saved.
You saved?
Of course.
Because most people, some young athletes would say that, the first paycheck is to kind of wash away poverty. You
can't wash
spend it
away
on champagne.
You can't wash away poverty with champagne. You can only wash.
All right, listen, we're going to figure out how much it was in euros. So, based on the official fixed exchange rate, 5,000 German Deutschmarks convert to 2,556.46 euros. Now we can convert that to naira again. What is that in naira today? Let's see what they're saying. So 5,000 German Deutschmarks converts to, we already said that in regards to euros. So that's equivalent to approximately 4,349. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's continue to play now.
Poverty when you are able to take up the responsibility, the responsibilities that are waiting for you. So I was in.
Okay, so basically, to date, 5,000 Deutschmarks and naira would be worth 4 million in today's money, in today's naira, will be worth 4,346,748 naira and 94 kabo. Let's keep moving.
One of those, that spend the first check. I realized the need to save.
And from the get-go, you understood that was going to be your career. Is that the first professional contract, the $5,000 or 5,000 Deutschmarks? Was that when you knew that, okay, this is for me, that this is now going to be my career?
No. It wasn't. I knew that I was on the right track.
I'm curious to know how much we'll get into that Alex Iwobi another. Alex Iwobi situation. We will react to that next. But I do want to slightly mention it.
But the realization then was, okay, if I can get 5, if I start playing, mind you, I got that contract before I started playing. So I was like, okay, if I start playing, I'm sure that there will be more there, And it didn't take long for them to change my contract because one of the rules then is they can demand transfer fee for you based on how much they are paying you.
Yes.
So they kept increasing my.
You see? Do you see that? I don't think people understand how transfer fees actually work. So if you're interested in transfer fees, especially when it comes to African players as well, might as well hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, turn on the post notification for that. And even though Lukaku does play for the Belgian side, unfortunately, and I say that, I think he's their top scorer, but he could have easily played for Congo, but that's another day for another subject. But yeah, we'll get into that because I think he's the most valued player in history. Don't quote me on that now, but I think Romelu Lukaku is the most valued player in history just based on his transfer fees. It is what it is. But anyway, let's keep moving.
My contract because
They
they
knew
were
that they would
scared. They
eventually.
were scared that another team might come for me,
On a cheap.
which was great for me. And that was when I realized that this is a serious business.
Yeah.
This is now officially my job.
And from the get-go, did you have an agent? Because one of the hardest things, right? So if you spend a lot of time trying to, grow your craft, right? In this case, it was football. You don't really have a lot of time to do other things.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to law school. You're not going to. It's football day and night, and maybe doing side gigs to pay for your football. Now, on one side, there is a football organization that has lawyers and CFOs and CPAs and chief executive officers, and then the other side there is a young JJ. How did you negotiate your first contract?
By the way, don't quote me on this here. This is just a quick Googles and that. But his nephew earned less for his professional contract. Like his nephew, Alex Iwobi, earned less. That's insane to me. You know what I mean? Like £1,000 a week. Let's keep moving. Let's go.
How did you get an agent? How did you choose an agent? How did you make sure that you were not being screwed?
That's a good question.
Well, I think maybe my upbringing, I had a good foundation.
In what sense?
In the sense that the area where I grew up, the tribe, we are business inclined.
Which one?
Igbo.
Okay.
And most Igbo do business, But I had a clear picture of what I wanted. And for me, at the beginning, it was all about me making as much as I could to secure my future and, of course, my family's future, So, I will say that sometimes I don't understand the clauses, or some of the clauses that are in the contract. But once the figures are right, I mean, I'm willing to see out the contract. So,
see, this is the issue, yeah. And I know he said so long as the figures in the contract are good, they look good, and you don't understand the clauses, he's willing to fulfill the contract. That's understandable. But you do know there are some contracts that in some cases, even though I know it's football we're talking about in this case, but in general, there's some contracts where it's in perpetuity. It's like, imagine they could own his image rights in perpetuity. And there's a clause in the contract where they're saying, even if you leave or you demand a transfer fee and we let you go to another club, we still own a percentage of your image rights. You're telling me you're going to fulfill your contract? Nah, dog. Yeah, nah. No. Imagine it, in perpetuity, owning a certain percentage of your image rights, because I know image rights are part of contract these days, because they know how valuable that is. Because think about if you think about the way Jay Jay Okocha used to play, yeah, with that amount of flair, that amount of magic, the creativity, the skills, you know what I mean, banging in goals, it attracts attention, it gets views. Like, so image rights. If you don't have retention of your own image rights, at least that, I don't know, man. But, I guess at that time you can understand why you may think, I'll just fulfill my contract.
I wasn't bothered about the clauses, But then, as time goes on, I realized that, listen, it's getting...
You're a business now.
It's getting a bit serious now, Of course, as a young African player, you get calls from agents, But then what I used to do was to give an agent that brings a good deal a mandate, but it's never exclusive. And so throughout my career, I was a bit more like a freelancer.
Yes.
And I think that might have helped.
Yes.
It might have hindered me of...
Why would it hinder you?
Because sometimes, football can be about who you're dealing with. Some managers can help you to get into some clubs.
Because you have the same agents. Because I as someone who follows a little bit of football, you always hear you hear about these super agents.
Yeah.
And you always wonder, why are they super?
Because they are more connected
than
others.
So why wouldn't you want to be a part of an ecosystem like that?
I wanted to be free, because at the end of the day, I do my talking on the pitch. If I'm good enough, I'm sure I'll get an offer, because it's clear that every good club is looking for a good player. And if you're good enough, you get offered. But what you can lose is to be able to get maybe the offer you think that you deserve, because you haven't got that contact. But at the end of the day, if you're pleased with what you're getting, who cares?
True.
I was a huge fan of the Premier League, especially the early thousands Premier League. I think for me, I call it the golden period of the Premier League, especially when it comes to midfield play. I mean, if you look at the names that you played against, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Claude Makelele, Lampard, Vieira, Jesus, it's name on name and name and name. Like,
it's true. There's a lot of greatness, a lot of greats back then.
When your primary care for the world, you care for hearts like your very own.
Other people's teams. Nowadays, I can't name anyone's team.
Who? And you were going up against them, week in, week out. If it's not one, it's going to be the other. If it's not United, it's the Invincibles. If it's not the Invincibles, it's
Jose
Mourinho and
Arsenal were only, no disrespect to Arsenal and Arsenal fans, yeah, they were only invincible for one season, and they haven't done that going on since. All right, it is what it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can tell he's an Arsenal fan. That's why he said he doesn't really watch football that much, the Premier League that much.
And the juggernaut of Chelsea, of all the men that you had to personally battle in the midfield, who do you think was the best you ever came up against?
I don't want to sound arrogant, but
It's fine.
no, but I've been asked this question in the past, and my answer is that I'm my biggest opponent because my strength was when I have the ball.
True.
And if I have the ball,
no one's taking it off you.
I decide what I want to do.
Trust me, when he had the
No
ball,
one's stopping you.
no one could take the ball off of him.
What's going through my head?
Did you even understand what was going through your head?
Of
Because
course,
when I watched you,
of course.
sometimes
Of course, you see,
it was so fast.
Of course, you see, there's this gift that few midfield players have got. We see things before we even get the ball. So before we even get the ball, we have like plan A, plan B. Then if it's not working, you can always switch. We've got that ability, So we call it scanning.
Yes.
So before you even get the ball, you're scanning. You know where your opponents are.
Alex
especially
Iwobi, are you listening, Brad?
So your first touch, you already know the direction you're taking it to, and that gives you an advantage. And if you're a defender, I don't care how strong you are, how good you are. If I'm confronting you, all I'm looking at is your standing foot. If I push the ball there, you can get it. You can.
It's that simple.
It's that simple, but it happens so quick. And if you've got that ability to think that fast, and maybe of course you need fast feet, to be able to do that. I mean, it will be difficult to stop.
All right, that's it. Jay Jay Okocha, you need to be part of the footballing coaching team for Nigeria, because clearly not only does your nephew need these sound advice, but the rest of the squad do, barring Victor Osimhen. He's the only one that I feel like do you know what I mean? He's levels above. Do you know what I mean? So he needs to be part of the coaching team. I've heard enough. He needs to be part of the coaching team. Like ex-players, especially great ex-players, they should be part of the coaching team. Otherwise, what are we doing? And that speaks for not just Nigeria, but every other African country as well. And Caribbean countries. But, like Dwight York, I swear at one point, or I don't know if he still is now, but I swear he was a manager for Trinidad and Tobago. And he used to play for Trinidad and Tobago. Get it? So it makes sense. Let's keep it moving.
So it's only when I get it wrong that, I believe I make them look good.
Yeah.
So
okay, so you're speaking about JJ. Like
yes.
When I had the ball.
Yes.
I was the general.
Yes.
I
decide. Yes.
But sometimes someone else has the ball.
Yeah, then I have to do the dirty job. Yeah. And that's not my strength. And the coaches, they know that.
Oh,
so what they do is they tell you where to fall back to if we don't have the ball. And sometimes maybe you're the second person to press. And the target might be for the next guy who is good in defending to win it.
And to give the general the ball.
Exactly.
Did you ever have a chance to play because you were in Bolton Wanderers? I mean, that was a really good team. If I'm not mistaken, you had...
He made a good team.
Campo in the back. There was Jokayev. There was you. Kevin Nolan. It was...
Bruno Ngotti.
Yes, Bruno.
Nakata.
Yes,
had
it
a
was...
large Diouf.
Yeah, it was a really good team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I got to Bolton,
But why Bolton?
Well, to be honest, I was a
Because you came from PSG.
I was a free agent, you know, and I wanted to play
in England.
In England, and they made me the best offer, you know. So I was like, okay.
Did you even know what Bolton was at the time? Because you're coming from Paris.
Not really, not really. You know, my
right
contract
there in the
was,
team that he had no idea about. That's bad.
Was negotiated at the stadium, so I didn't even see the training ground and the city. But I'm a football person, you know. I'm a football junkie. Once I'm happy with my football, the rest, you know, can be managed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, initially I just wanted that opportunity because
you wanted to play.
I wanted to
English
play
football.
In Premier League, and to prove that
you can play at that level.
A skillful player can succeed in the Premier League. So Bolton initially for me was, I thought I would just play maybe a season or two and then move on, which of course I could have done, you know, but we struggled in our first season. And
do you have a co-op membership number or card? You could be owed compensation due to a recent...
I never saw people so passionate about their club and the love that they showed me. You know, I was like, oh, maybe I found a home.
Yeah.
You know, and I had young kids then as well. And initially I signed 2 years contract. So the second season, of course, was going to be my last. So they now made me captain of the team. And
you're playing for Sam Allardyce at the time?
Yes, Sam Allardyce.
Big Sam.
Big Sam.
And then because I felt so much at home, you know, even though I got some offers, I was like...
were there any offers to like a top four side?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you still said no?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was happy. You know,
you chose
and I knew
happiness.
And I knew that I could help the team grow. And I felt wanted, you know. In some clubs, you know, you feel like you're just one of. You know, but when you've been given a huge responsibility to help a club grow, it's
and
a
the
challenge.
Fans love you.
It's a challenge that maybe every football junkie will take up.
Yeah.
You know, and that was what I did. So my presence helped attract some other good players. And because we're free.
But I don't know where I was. That outside they're doing madness, blowing horns and madness. I don't even know where the hell I was. Flip's sake. Tired of these people. Where was I now? Flip's sake. I think it was here. And they're still beeping. Just drive your car and go home. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Did you even know what Bolton was at the time? Because you're coming from Paris.
Not really. Not really. Passionate about their club and the love that they show. When you've been given a huge responsibility to help a club grow, it's
and
a
the
challenge.
Fans love you.
It's a challenge that maybe every football junkie will take up.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna say, it makes me wonder, is Alex Iwobi
my presence helped attract some other good players.
Other players within.
And then we went from a struggling team to a mid-table.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, played in Europe as well.
We played in Europe. We played 2 seasons in a row in Europe before.
I didn't know that.
You know, and I remember one fan approaching me and said, "Thank you. You've put Bolton in a European map that they never thought, you know, that it will ever happen.
I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't for you, I don't think
they would have either.
Bolton would have any African fans.
True.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
True.
Look at life. You know, there in sports there's highs and lows. I that's the nature of competitive thing. I'd like to ask you, what was your highest
Listen,
high?
are you hearing all that beeping? It's so unnecessary. I think I need to start going live on a Sunday.
You know, when you're thinking, okay, wow, I am him. And on the other side, what was your lowest low?
Well, I think I'll start with my lowest low. I think I can say it happened in 2 occasions. When I got relegated with Frankfurt in 1996. I felt bad.
Why? It wasn't on you.
No, but you know, sometimes we develop this winning habit. And with Frankfurt, we were always competing to win the league. And all of a sudden, they brought this manager that just destroyed the team.
That's mad when you think about it. Developed such a winning habit, and then all of a sudden they bring in a manager that destroyed the team. That's mad. Because you can fast forward now and look at other clubs, and you can almost see certain clubs with certain managers that feel like they've destroyed the team. But then is it the manager or is it the group of players? Because here's the thing about football, yeah. It's a sport where anyone could win, anyone could win. Let's be real. Anybody could win. It's a game of tactics. It's a game of, obviously the referee could have a day where they either are being biased or unbiased. It's a game where at the end of the day, just one moment can change the game. Or mistakes can change the game. It's one of those things. And then sometimes if you're on the side of the team that's always in the thing where you're competing to win the league and then you're winning, then all of a sudden you're drawing and then you're winning and then you're losing again and then again and again and again to the point that you're near relegation zone. That's to do with mentality. Because how do you bring back the mentality, irrespective of the manager? It's up to the players on the pitch to decide how to play the football. Like sometimes, I'm not going to say don't listen to your manager, but come on, man. You're telling me you listen to your manager that much that if it's wrong, you're still going to do that job? I don't know, man. I don't know. Leave your answer in the comments below. What do you think?
And I could see it coming. But I had no voice. I couldn't say anything, but I saw it coming. And when it happened, I felt bad. But then I said to myself, well, it's time to move on. And that was when I left. Another low moment was when we failed to qualify for 2006 World Cup.
Makes sense.
Which was in Germany.
Wow.
As the Super Eagles.
Super Eagles. And that could have been my 4th World Cup.
Yes.
So those are my 2 low moments. And I would say my highest moment in football, or the greatest moment that I think I had, was winning the Olympics. Because you only get one chance.
You won the gold.
We won the gold. And it's in record because we were the first African footballing team to win.
That's the Atlanta Olympics 1996.
Atlanta 1996. And yes, it is special to me because of what we went through.
Let me see who's in that side, though. Hang on.
People only see the end product, but they don't really see the process. You know?
What was the process like?
The process was tough. We were in camp in America, and we woke up one day. Our training coach was gone. You know, the boss that we
Who had it gone?
they took it with the spare key because the FA hadn't paid.
The Nigerian FA.
Yes.
So it hadn't paid for the bus.
All right, tell us that Bobby was part of that team as well. I didn't know. Cold. But that's under 23 team, isn't it? It says under 23 team. Okay, no. The Nigerian national. You know, let's get the full stats. Full stats. I'm gonna have to see if I can react to that. Let me double check. So let's keep it moving on. Hold on.
You know? And then for like a week, the hotel were giving us the same menu, the same meal.
Yes. What was the meal?
So we went.
Do you remember it? No, I need to know. What was that meal?
It was just.
Has Nick developed superhuman strength?
Nick has a super personal trainer thanks to Superprof.
This is my song called Love.
Just like rice and sauce, everyone sauce, rice and sauce, you know.
Yeah,
so we went,
but with some meat at least.
Yes.
All right, the team, the full squad, yeah. And I might butcher some names, forgive me. But anyway, Joseph Dosso, Emmanuel Babayaro, Abiodun Barua, I'm butchering names, I know I am. Cheliston Babayaru, Taribo West, Kennedy Obiku, Mobi Oparaku, Obafemi, no, Obafemi is someone different. Who else? Give me Okochukwu, Opara, Elise, Jay Jay Okocha, Wilson Aruma, Amunike, Fatsi, Awal, Kanu. See, Kanu. Anyway, Amokachi. Listen, it makes sense why they won. Like, think about it. The squad we have now. I'm not being funny. I can't name. Like, I'm looking at the names on that list, that squad list. I'm looking at the names on that squad list. We got to start doing some comparisons. And we'll do this another time. That we have to do some comparisons. Who are those type of players in today's game? And who are those type of players can we get that are similar that we can look for and help mold, or not mold, but develop in the under 21s or the under 17s or whatever the case may be. So in the near future, we can start winning tournaments again, and then end up being the first African nation to win the World Cup. I mean, if we qualify for next year's World Cup, do we have a strong chance of winning it? I'll be honest, no. But do I want us to win it? Yes.
Yes,
okay,
chicken,
let's go.
Okay. Chicken sauce and rice. Yeah, for like a week. So we went
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or
no, just for dinner. Breakfast is for everyone, you know. But then for lunch and dinner, the same meal. So we went to them and said, "How come you're not changing our menu?" You know, they said we should be glad that we're still here because our FA have not paid
for the food.
Yeah, and for the accommodation.
Hey.
So we had to.
No. The NFF was that bad back then. That was 1996. Next year is 2026. How is it they're still that bad? How and why? It's almost a miracle that we ended up winning the AFRICAN in between. You know what I mean? Nah, what's going on? What is going on? I didn't even realize. This is the first time I'm actually hearing this from Jay Jay Okocha's mouth. Pause. where no Diddy. You know what I mean? That they didn't. The Nigerian FA or the Nigerian Football Federation did not pay for the accommodation and food, knowing that your team is going through the rounds and doing their best and excelling. You can't. Nah, it doesn't make sense to me. This is
Few
insane.
of us, had to bring our card and pay for accommodation, and then went and rented minivans, to stay in camp.
My goodness.
But it shows the desire that we had.
But it also shows, I guess, because we started this conversation talking about government and the roles in how they develop the game.
Yeah.
And you cannot have a situation. I mean, you guys were extremely
but that's
strong
the difference
to go through that.
Yeah, but
right?
you see, that's the difference between Europe and Africa. Back then, Africa didn't understand, or I can say Nigeria, but I know that a lot of players will testify, to that as well. That we were not keen. I mean, the officials, the administrators, they didn't see the need to prepare very well.
But they at least give you a hotel. They pay, I mean, at the very basic.
There's
but accommodation. They're not in Lagos where you guys can sleep in your home, your father's homes.
But you see, that's the difference is that the Europeans, they plan way ahead. Once they know that you've qualified, that you're going to need a camping site, they'll start arranging for it. We always leave our things last minute, and then maybe the government have not released the budget and we have to go.
Yes.
But they won't tell us.
Yeah.
So they bundle us to the camp.
Who was the government back then?
In hope maybe they negotiate that, okay, they are coming back in 3 days' time to.
Say hello to the Ninjas, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. From summer days.
Sort out the bill and all that. And
it's actually a miracle when you hear those stories that we even do well.
Oh yeah, I mean, it has changed, but back then, that's the difference maybe between our generation and this generation, because it was a big day for a player to play for his nation.
Okay.
So you can even spend your money to play for your nation.
Which is what you guys did. You literally paid for the accommodation so that people could stop eating rice and chicken.
Sometimes we used to buy our tickets to come, and you won't get your refund, but
you want to play for the
nation,
for the green and white. Now you go through that whole process. You have a couple of decades of playing football, but in football is not like someone like me who's a talker. I can talk until the day I literally collapse and they throw me in the grave. You have, maybe if you're an absolute athlete like a Ronaldo, maybe you'll hit 41 and your body starts breaking down. Now, retirement, when you coming from such a high, you're 60,000 people screaming your name, and you walk everywhere, everyone knows you, you're a VVIP, you're a big deal. When retirement hits, all of a sudden there's silence, right? The rhythm of your life, which you've had for since you were 15, all of a sudden stops. No one chants your name. you're sitting at home, you don't know what to do sometimes. How did you navigate that change where all of a sudden you have more time than you know what to do with?
Well, I think if I'm being honest, that's the biggest challenge that athlete faces, you know, because a lot of us don't realize that it's a short career.
The music stops.
Exactly. And the nature of our job, we don't get pension.
Really?
We don't get paid.
Surprised they don't get pension. That's mad. They must get pension now. On the structure of it, I don't know.
Pension. You are basically your own government. You know, from the day you stop playing, that's it. So I was lucky enough to realize that, and realize that, listen, the real life starts after football.
Real life.
Real life. Because all the glamour and all that, I mean, it's so difficult to maintain or to sustain. Because most of the things you get it for free.
No, it makes
because
sense.
of who you are. You know, even you can even include ticket fare and whatever, house rent and all that in your contract. So you're not used to paying a lot of bills apart from maybe trying to meet up to your popularity, you know. But it hit me when I first bought my commercial property.
Where was that? Back home in Nigeria or elsewhere?
Back home in Nigeria.
Wow.
And also in England. So you buy a property that you think that you've paid huge money. But then the income that it generates in a month, you're like, okay, that's not much, you know.
And it's mad when you think about it. This is why I will continue to. Well, I will do more content in regards to African and Caribbean countries, but in regards to finance, because the reality is, when it comes down to it, I don't think people understand. Like think about it. We can see footballers as they are now, earning this much, and you could want to be a footballer because you see them earning this much. I mean, look, there's Project Mbappe. Soon there's going to be Project Estevan Willian. You know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, like, you look at it, I know obviously there's Project Jay Jay Okocha. Well, Alex Iwobi should have been Project Jay Jay Okocha, but we move. Now, all jokes aside, the reality is, on the financial level, you have to think. This is probably why Alex Iwobi actually went into doing music as well. But even that's not sustainable. So basically, the lesson is, even if you're not a footballer or a musician, whatever you're doing, diversify your income. That's the lesson in. Diversify your income and make sure you're earning the same amount or a bit more.
And I realized that for me to be going home, for example, to be going home every month with $10,000, I needed to invest millions.
That's deep.
I said, listen, I need to stay focused and make sure that I invested.
When did you realize that? That, you know what, I need to actually be very, very... Because...
Early enough. Early enough.
In your 20s?
In my 20s, yeah. I think I was 23, 24.
When you realize that...
When I realized...
I have to plan for the future.
Yes.
What happens?
Yes. You know. And also, I said to myself, listen, there's no need for me to be greedy or start taking risks or getting myself involved in business that I'm not in control of or that I don't understand. But because people bring offers to you, people bring all sorts to you, you know, and I know that a lot of players got ripped up as well.
So how did you survive that?
I survived that because I wasn't greedy, and I said, listen, at least if I buy a property, I can see my property. Even if I'm unlucky that the property burns down, I still have my land to start a new life with, So the only business that I was doing was property.
And that's what you chose. You said,
yes.
I am not going to go into other things that I don't understand. It's strictly property.
Yes. And
Very
then
smart.
I started deriving joy in knowing that, oh, okay, this is my house, this is my property, this is my property, So I kept on buying.
Like he's banging in those goals and getting those assists.
Take a 15-minute learning session on cancer support.
On Paramount Plus, we make Epic a series you can't see anywhere else.
Let's see his goals and assists though. Hold on.
Until I stopped playing.
If it's not a secret, right? So what was your, because you were being paid every week. I think that's the usual
that's
UK
in
standard
England,
in England. So if, let's assume, I'm not saying that that's the number, but let's assume it was £100,000. So what was your investment strategy? How would you spend that money?
My contract money is for investment.
So the contract
is investment.
Fully?
Yes.
No.
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 What about income?
Nothing else.
There is match bonuses.
Match bonuses,
It's enough for you to live. You have endorsement. It's enough for you to buy toys if you.
So those nice cars and nice watches.
Exactly.
Travel with the wife.
Yeah. So it's all about putting a structure in place. And if you're not winning enough matches, then you backpedal a bit. It's not every month that you go shopping. It's not every year that you buy a new car.
How do you survive the black tax? When we talk about the black tax, for those who don't know, it's when you do well as an African or as an African American or as you have a lot of dependents, people who depend on you.
Yeah.
And very often you'll see in certain communities an athlete doing well, but then at the end, because of so many other pressures, family pressures, they're not able to do well later on. How did you navigate the responsibilities to the people back home, people who've been your friends, who've raised you? Our families are huge.
Yeah.
How did you not end up?
No, they are part of your structure. They are part of your investment.
In what sense?
In the sense that they are part of your budget. You put them in your plan.
Yeah.
And also you make it clear to them that they have a limited time.
Damn.
You're trying to set them up and they have to make it count.
How do you have that conversation?
Because I'm the actor. I know what I'm going through. I know that I have a limited time. I know that if I fail, I won't have the opportunity to give them a better life.
True.
I won't have the possibility of setting them up. So I make it clear that they can't fail. Because I didn't fail.
So if you give them money for an investment, they say, cousin,
yeah, but
this is the thing.
But it's not everybody that utilizes it well, But at least you make sure that 80% are okay. And if that 80% are okay, they take some of the burden away from you when you retire.
The reason I asked you that question, there's a famous footballer, Paul Pogba, who was dealing with a lot of family dynamics with his own brothers, actually, even people who you think are the closest to him. And
they did him good.
I was, as a person, as a fan of Manchester United and as a fan of Paul Pogba, I watched it, and I'm sure you watched it as an analyst for SuperSport. And you're like, wow, this is a tough situation to be in. How do you, because it seemed for me as an observer, there was a lot of jealousy and spite, and how do you allow yourself to be the star?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Remember you also told me that you had an older brother, another Okocha, right? So all of a sudden you've become the meteor, the comet,
mm-hmm.
and then there's people under you, right, who depend on you or support you and support what you do. How did you manage the intricacies of, family dynamics and jealousies and this? How do you manage it?
I think what defines a man or what sets you apart is your ability to make decisions.
True.
To take decisions. And even if you're investing in charity organization, there's always limit. So you have to know where the boundary is. Also, it's in my interest to protect my own family that I've created.
Yes.
My wife and my kids.
Yes.
Because I don't want them to go through what I went through. And I can't waste it because others fail to be independent. So
that's a good point.
I will try my best to give you the best opportunity that I can to make it in life, which I think I did to an extent, but you should be able to say, okay.
On Superprof, Annabelle found a tutor with amazing reviews to ace her physics exam. You too can choose the right tutor for more than 2,000 subjects on Superprof, the biggest tutor community in the world.
Come fly with us to the Isle of Wight. Just head on our unique hovercraft.
This is where the boundary is, because automatically you give them even the foundation that you didn't have. Give them startup capital that you never had, and if they are serious, they can fail. And if they fail, it's none of my business. I can't suffer because you decide.
That's mad. Because you know what's mad? I'm thinking to myself, wait, wouldn't that mean if they fail, wouldn't that mean they'll be like, they'll come at you for more money or more opportunities? Because there's some people that they'll be like, I messed up. Can I try again? Can I go again? It's mad.
Not to be responsible. I've suffered.
Yeah.
And I can't keep suffering.
Yeah.
And it was clear. I used to tell them.
And you're honest.
You have to be. You have to be. And also, that you're giving them, like, I can reveal I bought houses for them. So there's nothing like house rent. I was paying school fees for their children, So why can't you just manage
your life,
your capital, the business that I've started for you in order to feed your family? So if you can't do that, what else do you expect from me? But at least I make sure that they can never be homeless.
Yesterday when you were speaking on a panel, you talked about how you had a few times been offered political positions back home. And you've obviously declined a few times. But I wanted to ask, let's pretend that you have power. You obviously have power, but let's pretend you actually have power.
I cannot pretend.
I mean, you does.
I have power, but in a different way.
Let's create a scenario.
But where you're going to, I don't want to be part of that.
No. What I'm saying is creating a scenario, and because when you talk about African sports, when they talk about challenges, there's issues of infrastructure, there's issues of proper academies, governance. Now, if there was one thing you could do to change African sports, would it be change the infrastructure, improve it? Would it be academies? Would it be governance of sports federations? What do you think it would be? If it's just one thing, if there's a magical bullet that allows African sports to become the thing we all wish it to be, what would it be?
Putting the right people in
leadership
in the right position.
Makes sense. That makes
Because
sense a lot.
A lawyer cannot be a surgeon.
True.
A doctor cannot be a lawyer.
But we see
we use sports
to just allow anyone in
as a political settlement. And maybe it's part of the things that
do you think it should be sportsmen running sports federations?
Yeah. You can guide them to get the qualification that is needed.
So this is why, I'm going to say it one more time. This is why, and if you agree with me, hit that like button, turn on the subscribe button and the post notification. But this is why Jay Jay Okocha needs to be in a Nigerian Football Federation. Or if not that, then he needs to create something that is within the African continent for every African side. Oh, then again, that's the CAF. Maybe he needs to be the CAF president. I don't know. You let me know in the comment section below. Surely there has to be something he can do. Surely.
But because they've been there, they've done it, no one will understand how an athlete feels except if you've been an athlete.
They know what the bitterness of defeat is.
You talk for a living. I can't come to your field if I've got no clue.
That's true.
On how you manage yourself, how you come up with the right questions. You know, I can't just come because I love talking and start talking and decide to take over your job. You know, so you have to be qualified for a certain position before you can manage it very well. And this is our problem.
We allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry to
exactly. And even if you look at some African countries, people that are talking about football are journalists that are fan, that loves the game, and because they have a bit of knowledge as fans, they think that they know the nitty-gritty about football, and because they can speak, you know. But then the real actors, because they didn't go to school, they struggle maybe to really interpret themselves very well, you know. We push them aside instead of creating an avenue for them to improve. And
very true. Do you know why? I'll give you an example. This is why I respect Paul Carnival and what he's doing. I don't know the intricacy of what he's doing right now, but what I feel like he's doing is extremely very smart. He's integrating the YouTube community. You understand? He's integrating. I saw something earlier last month, and I was shocked and surprised that, okay, this is what he's doing. All right, cool. But let's keep it moving though.
Knowledge, which will help maybe the next kid growing up.
Do you have a chance to share all your knowledge? Do you sit down as JJ and have time to talk to?
I am now the only person able to unlock these high security doors.
AI processing.
Young sports people and say, okay, guys, this is how you should manage your future. Are you given the opportunity? Do people seek you out?
No, well, I do that sometimes, you know, but to be honest, I've got my own issues to manage. You know, I've got my own businesses to manage.
Yeah, so you don't have a lot of time.
I don't. No.
Maybe you should start a podcast. No. I mean, I'm seeing John Obi Mikel has started the podcast. Your former
yes, I'm
teammate.
Allardyce and all that. Yeah, but
I feel like you have a lot to teach.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
you know, yeah, it's not for everybody. You know, some people prefer to be guests.
Yeah, you like to share.
I like to share.
Last question.
That must be going on.
When I think about football today, African football in particular, sometimes it's a bit sad because I don't feel that the quality I was raised on, the names I was raised on, they're not quite there anymore. Alhaji Diouf, Jay Jay Okocha, Nwankwo Kanu, Kalusha Bwaila, in Uganda, George Semogerere, even here, Olivier Karichezi. These are some of the people you even had the chance to play against. When I see the names, yes, you have Mohamed Salah, a few, but it's not. Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're.
What's happening? What's happening?
We are losing our identity.
What's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. Age. And the reason why I say that, like, obviously I don't know how old this brother is, yeah. So respectfully. But like it's an age thing. And the reason why I say it's an age thing, because the reality is I can see, and obviously, yes, I'm from a different generation, but I think we may be from the same generation. I don't know. But I can see that, yes, he mentioned Mo Salah, but there's Victor Osimhen, for a prime example. Do you know what I mean? And then you have to also take into addition that some African players have decided to play for European nations instead. So that also could have added to that. But aside from that, there really are a lot of African players out there. There's a lot that, like, but I won't read them off on this list and it's in now, but do that for another time.
We're losing our flair. We are trying to play like Europeans. And we can't beat them at their game.
Which is something that I always wondered. I would watch, and I'm sorry to bring up the whether it's the Black Stars with Abedi Pele or everyone. I remember I'd watch Nigeria play. You know, when there was Yakini, I knew that it was power. It was, you know, trickery from you. Finidi would pace and, you know, in swingers.
The way the rest of
it started becoming a few decades ago. Everyone started playing pretty much the same way. Pass, 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 pass.
Do you know why that is? And the reason why is because of the manager changes, and the managers that are not from. I'm not saying anything else than that. That's why I'm glad we got Eric Chelle. But the thing is, I still think we need a coach that's Nigerian. And yes, we had one previously to him, which is Finidi, but he didn't last as long. I think had he been given more time, he would have done well, if I'm honest. But it's a game of results. So if the results don't come quickly, it is what it is. I feel like we're not Chelsea, Nigeria are in a weird position, because it's like we kept on chopping and changing managers in the time of qualifications for the World Cup. Doesn't make sense. It's like after a tournament, if you're not happy with that manager, you get rid of that manager and then focus on getting a new manager. But if you're already in the midst of qualifying for a tournament, you might as well just carry on with that manager. But then at the same time, it's a bittersweet moment because if the points are not adding up to the, but then is it the manager's fault or the player's fault? This is what's so mad. There's so many intricacies to football. You just never know.
Pass. And I'm like, where is someone to?
Yeah, we're losing that freedom to express ourselves.
Is it because we're all now playing in Europe?
No,
right?
We had, but during my time.
But then there was fewer of you in playing in Europe.
No. 80% of the team were playing in Europe.
Yeah.
Sondoli's Taribo West, Omokachi, Yekini, and all, we were all in Europe.
So then what happened?
Seaton New experiences at over 30 hotel brands with Marriott Convoy.
Could be that.
It's a generational thing, you know, because then I could say that everything used to come natural to us because
you played in the streets.
We played on the street. We were all playing because of the love of the game, you know. But now you see rich people calling you that their son is interested in football, this and that. At early age, they start denying them that freedom of expressing themselves because they get a personal coach for them that teaches them how to pass and shoot and whatever, and because they have money to burn, you know. But that African flair is what is being taken away from us because they are not just out there trying new things.
With a funny pitch that makes the ball move and you have to feel how to...
All they see maybe is clips and then, they want to do this. They want. We used to create those dribblings.
Yes.
Because we were free. There was no rule. You know, I'm not saying that is the best, you know, but I think there's nothing better than developing love for whatever you're doing, you know, and that love will come from freedom to express yourself.
So how hopeful are you for the next generation? You've made it seem as if the football that existed before was...
That's interesting. I didn't know the manager was Johannes Franciscus Bonferre, who was Dutch. I didn't even know that. So is it the manager now? I don't know.
It was free. It had an identity.
Yeah.
Now you're saying it's a bit more controlled. It's
a bit more predictable now.
Predictable, boring.
It's not boring, but it's predictable.
No, I said the word boring. Personally, for me, it's boring. Even the Premiership, it's becoming boring because there was a time teams had...
Yeah, I mean, we don't have enough superstars anymore.
But
we don't have
enough
standard players anymore. Sometimes you have to impose yourself.
So no one is being imposing? Is it? Because the globe is the football is a global game. It's still extremely popular. There's billions of children playing the game. We've not stopped kicking the ball. Why are there no stars? Why are we
but
not?
the way we kick the ball now is different from the way football was kicked before.
So what does the future look like?
The future looks bright.
Yeah,
you've not given me any sense of that.
No, but you say football is becoming a serious business. It was a business before, but now
it's a serious
business. You know, and the main focus now is result.
Yeah, true.
So nobody is willing to entertain anybody or play it beautiful. It's all about result. And coaches are under so much pressure to win matches that they don't want to see flair players. They just want the quickest route or how to get to the back of the net. You know, that's all they're interested in. So, and in doing that, you see that the gap has been bridged. There's no minors anymore because once you can control and pass and run and whatever, you can compete.
But that also means there's no super teams. It's everyone.
There are because there are still teams that are managing to get the best players together.
Do you still love football?
Of course.
Of course he does. Look at the way he's speaking about it.
Do you still love
And
to
why he said
watch
there's a bright
football?
future.
Of course. I'm a football junkie, you know, and football changed my life. So, I mean, whatever I am today is down to football, and I will forever love football. It's in my DNA.
But is it? And Alex,
the president of Rwanda is a well-known football junkie.
Yeah.
His team is Arsenal. Have you had a chance to sit down with him and talk football?
Well, when we came here for FIFA Congress, we played together.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, I saw him in Paris during the Champions League semi-final, and also.
Do you get a chance to talk football with him?
And in terms of salary?
Oh, did I mention the table tennis table?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. But I know that he's a football person.
What team are you still watching? Which team do you watch now?
I can watch any
But then
team. I can watch any. Some are more interesting than others.
Yeah.
But you can always pick one or two things.
So there's no particular team that you think, okay, it doesn't even have to be
No,
one
I
of the big ones.
love watching Barcelona. You know, I love watching Man City as well, but
it's a different type of football, eh?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Which of those teams reminds you more of your young self? Which one do you see Okocha in?
Football has changed, you know, and I think if I was still playing, I would adapt to the system. But of course, some things.
Which one would adapt to you better?
Some things I won't change. You know, if I could play for both, and it would be easier for me to play in Man City or United, or you know, with all due respect, you know, of course they are bigger teams than both.
Yeah. JJ, thank you so much for your time. This was an absolute for me. As you probably can tell, I'm actually an actual football fan, and it was an absolute honor. This is going to be one of those moments that I tell my kids, you know, the other guy you see on TV, I talked to him. I sat down with him. So hopefully you'll keep enjoying Kigali, keep enjoying sports biz. And I'll be watching you, seeing what the next couple of years looks for one of my childhood heroes. And thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything in particular, last message for young Rwandans who might be watching this? Is there something that you want to tell them? It doesn't have to be about sports. It doesn't have to be about football, but maybe a lesson from your life that you think if a young person takes this direction, they will be more successful rather than less successful.
Well, I think first of all, I'll say that dreams do come true. There's no limit to what you can achieve if you believe, if you have the desire. But it will never be rosy. You must go through difficult phases. I didn't say phase, I said phases.
So more than one.
More than one. But that's when you learn. That's when you grow. That's when you mature. So it's all about how you manage those difficult moments. You know? And again, don't be scared of trying. You know, because there's a saying that a foolish doer will always outdo a great thinker.
A foolish doer will always outdo a great thinker. Wow. It's actually true when you think about it.
Try. If you don't implement, your plans or whatever, you won't know where you can get to. So always believe in yourself. Always stay disciplined, which is key. Be willing to sacrifice. Be willing to deprive yourself of a lot of things, because that's the price that you have to pay in order to have a great future.
True.
JJ, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
That's great advice, not even for young people, but even older people as well.
Facts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed
Well,
the very first podcast in Kigali.
I have, and thank you for having me.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for today's conversation. Thanks for staying with us till the very end. It really means a lot. I'd love to know, what was the one moment that really stood out to you? Drop it in the comments so that we can keep the discussion going. If you want to connect with us beyond YouTube or streaming platforms, you can find us on the social media platform of your choice. And if this has sparked something for you, share it with a friend who'd love it too. Until next time, have a great week. Thank you, Kigali Marriott Hotel, for providing a venue for the long-form podcast to record. At the heart of Kigali's hospitality, Kigali Marriott offers everything from luxury stays to premier event spaces, fine dining, and top-tier conference facilities. Keep up with them at Kigali Marriott on socials and visit their website, www.marriott.com.
Jeez. I shout out to the host, which is Sani Natayambaya. Obviously, shout out to Jay Jay Okocha. Shout out to all the list of credits here. Shout them all out. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to everyone from Rwanda and that. Give me Kigali and that. Do you know what I mean?
You Switch Mobile Network of the Year.
So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Obviously, I'm going to subscribe to their channel because, listen, if you want me to react to more of their content, that definitely is coming soon. Just depending on which guests they have, if in all honesty. So let's see what people are saying in the comments, because this was 3 weeks ago. Fine. Anyway. So Jay Jay Okocha is a legend on the pitch, but what's his biggest legacy off it? Do you think African players today are better prepared for fame, money than Okocha's generation? Drop your thoughts below. Nigerians in the room, like this comment. Let's know ourselves. I mean, I am Nigerian, so similar like that. I can't even remember if a Nigerian journalist tried to give our legend such an interesting interview. This was so much of fun to watch. JJ is excellent with his mind. He was great with his feet. I mean, I'm only liking this comment, because but you can't be bigging up someone else to put down someone else. I don't like that. It doesn't make no sense. You could easily just say, listen, this was a great interview. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for this great interview. One major take home for me was his financial discipline early in his career. I feel that's one for me. Imagine him saving and investing his whole salary for the whole time. Wow, that's incredible to me. So I'm going to put, there are 2 takeaways. The takeaways from me. This interview was very insightful and not what I expected. It made me think about finances and how to manage, but also the last quote about the foolish duo will always outdo the thinker. That is real deep. So it is time for me to continue to implement what is on my mind and heart. Do you know what I mean? But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. We definitely might react to that one day. PLO Lamwamba on Captain Ibrahim Traore. We're gonna have to react to that another time. I'll look into that further before do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, shout out to everyone watching. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications. We want a shout out, leave it in the live chat right now. I'll give you a shout out right now. Leave in the comments. But I appreciate you watching. Until